go.
We will call the meeting to order and ask for a roll call of magistrates and establish a quorum.
Mr. Elder, Mr. Wicker.
Here.
Mr. Smothers.
Here.
Mr. Caldwell.
Here.
Mr. Masterson. He's here.
Mr. Elder may surprise us, but I know he's got an awfully big family event this weekend that he's making some serious preparations for, and I fully understand that he may be preoccupied. Before we get too far into it, I'd like to ask the court's indulgence on hopefully a pretty quick meeting. I'm obligated to perform a wedding rehearsal at 6 o'clock in Crestwood, Kentucky, which is about an hour and a half away. So we can move through these items of business pretty expeditiously.
Depends on you.
Will help me out a lot.
Let's go.
Okay, first item of business is to consider the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion. Second. Yes.
Masterson. Yes. Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker. Yes. Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Unanimous.
I know that Jimmy has been working with several of y'all on the road list for this coming year, and we have always tried to put together a variety of lists. We got a flex list, a discretionary list, and a county paid for strictly list, and all of them, of course, are needed asphalt applications. We can't begin the approval process or getting the agreements written until we have the approval from the state on the flex and the discretionary list. So if y'all had a chance to review those, I'd entertain a
Motion to approve the
flex.
Let me do a timeout here. On the Burr Springs Road, Judge,
Is that on either one of these
on
lists?
my flex list, isn't it? There's an issue whether we're gonna close that or not, and a big part of that road, if we close that, is figured in this flex money.
It's not on the flex list.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's on discretionary, but it's not on the
Okay,
flex.
all right, it's not on the flex, that's fine.
Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes, now this is the flex, this is for the state.
This is for the state.
All
We
right.
have to submit at least $185,000 worth, and we've got $250,000.
Yes.
If we don't obligate the money, we have to go back and re-request another road and go
Right.
through the whole deal, so we usually over-request.
Yeah. Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, was that for both the discretionary and the flex list?
It was.
yeah.
It was.
Okay, item number 3, we get this contract from Lincoln Trail every year. They do certain services, I think, and Robbie's not here to tell me what the EMS does, but they get certain vaccinations and certain services that are at a prescribed price that I guess are partly mandatory. The titers for the animal control, the rabies vaccination, things like that are part of what they do. And this is a same price, same cost, and same contract as we've signed in previous years.
Motion to pass the rate.
Second.
Mr. Masterson.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, item number 4, we've helped to sponsor the salute to the athletes every year. The Enterprise does special section, and we've tried to help to encourage our athletes and recognize them for their accomplishments. And this is the same ad with the corrections, and Sandusky's name was
Motion to
corrected.
approve the ad.
Second.
Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Masterson. Unanimous.
It wasn't part of the enterprise request, but we've also always provided an ad for the fair catalog, same directory of services ad. So I ask for
Money for that ad.
approval for that ad as well.
Second.
Mr. Masterson.
Yes.
Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell. Unanimous.
Okay, item number 5, we got the invoices for the CAECO renewal that we've been aware was coming, and this is always an option we have every year is to pay this by August 1st, and we receive a 1% discount.
Motion to approve. We save actually $4,500 by approving it now, so.
Right. Yeah, pay it out of next year's budget, and it really doesn't have to be paid August 1st, but as long as we got approval to do it, we
Second.
can save that money.
Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Mr. Masterson.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 6, Kevin has combed the budget and looked at what is going to be needed to complete the fiscal year we're currently in, and these are all inter-budget transfers. There's no budget amendment necessarily. We're not enlarging our budget. We're living within our budget and just moving some line items from one.
Appropriations transfers,
Right.
no cash transfers.
Motion for transfers.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, item number 7, every year, I guess because of ACA accreditation or various reasons, Jailer Brady asked for some corrections or some changes in the policies, procedures at the detention center. And the noted changes are included in the handout in there. And I guess this basically keeps the jail in compliance with all the ACA requirements. And
The revisions.
That's what I'll go with.
Second.
approve the revision. Any discussion?
Mr. Caldwell? Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
I'm
Unanimous.
assuming all your employees understand all the revisions. Sounds good.
Perfectly.
What's that contributions transfer, Judge?
That contributions transfers because we have used that line item to make some additional expenditures that weren't in our original budget, and it's just to make that budget whole for the remainder of the year.
Is that contribution line item is a line item that we use for anything that we haven't budgeted?
Yeah,
It's catching up with what we
for lack of a better word,
didn't see
miscellaneous.
coming and wound up funding, and so it
Okay.
Okay, item number 7, really, we just did that. Item number 8, there's not anything in your packet. We had a pretty lengthy discussion at our budget meeting. We have not fully developed the full evaluation instrument or any of the merit raise type of, I guess, criteria that we've discussed. We know that our employees typically, we got highs and lows, and we've approved raises almost, well, every year that I've been here as 2%, 3%, and in better times when the jail was proposing 3 or 4, 5%, we matched to keep the increase for employees across the county even. This year, in talking with the jailer, talking with the sheriff, I guess all of them had figured roughly a 3% raise, which is pretty customary with the cost of living index and some of the other things to keep people whole. And I know we've talked about trying to do it differently, but we don't have a vehicle in place yet to do that. I think we're going to try to have committees to work on something, and we've already expressed our desire to make sure our supervisors do, in fact, do the annual, or I think Robbie would say he'd like to do it quarterly, reviews and evaluations on the staff within their charge. But to get the payroll adjusted by the first pay period in July, this will be our last meeting to do that. We just simply need to go ahead and
Motion to approve the 3%
approve
raise.
the 3% across the
Now,
board.
everything's 3% across the board, right?
There are no special raises for anybody. It's,
And I would like to revisit this sometime. But
I
for
think we
now-
know we need to do something a
Yeah,
little
let's
different.
get that done. Got the motion.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, item number 9 is the reports from the departments. I guess Jimmy, he brought in a road department report, and the magistrates have all received that.
Very good report. I know he's recommended 3 new hires. I'd like to make a motion. Excuse me, did you say it, Judge? Okay, I'd like to make a motion for those,
Those 3 recommended?
please.
Do we need,
Okay.
do their name need to be on,
Yeah, I
Probably
mean, we
do.
need to go ahead and name them as Terry Smith, Terry Murphy, and John Mauser for the 3 named workers.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous. What was the last name,
Have
Judge?
have they already did their background check and all that stuff, or that comes? Okay, well, providing,
That's pending
Yeah.
to pass all the,
yeah,
So make that part of the motion, approve the
yeah,
hiring
approve the hiring pending all the,
all the legal,
the background check,
yeah.
drug testing, and all that. Anything anything else you wanted to add to that? Had a good report.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Good job.
I got a question on that discretion, on the road. I did go through my roads and check a couple more, but that's, I need to get with Jimmy on that, on
Right.
the other. Okay, I'll do that after.
Final total composite listing, which include the flex and the discretionary, which is not guaranteed, but it's been kind of a promise to me.
Right.
We'll firm those up hopefully by the next meeting and get our complete full year blacktop and plan in place and get it balanced out and revisit.
Okay. Good.
He's got the list by the next meeting, we're good.
I
We
think-
should be good.
I think we can come
Is
up
that-
with that, can't
Is that
you?
right?
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I think you got most of it anyway.
Okay, solid waste,
I
Keith
got
had
most of it.
had a really good report. Good listing of the roads cleaned and the amount of litter abatement and so forth.
And y'all are getting with Windstream, whoever on those, they said all the addresses were not right, but y'all are getting that clarified. Yeah, good.
Good progress.
We're correcting Windstream's database.
Yeah.
You got the route, you got all the routes took off?
Route 1.
Deceased people.
Yeah, the email we got from Windstream today, they kind of justified what they sent to us, but it was pretty poor. They blamed me for not requesting what they call the TN extract. And I simply replied, well, if I'd known we needed to request that, I would have. I just thought I'd
How do y'all handle the ones, like I know a lot that say that the phone was in their parents' name and now the kids live there and they've still got the same phone number, but Windstream wanted X amount of dollars to change it, and so they just left it. So does that stay, the phone's listed in, like you said, a deceased person? As long as the bill's paid, they don't care whose name's on the phone. That coming?
We have to reconcile that with postal delivery.
Yeah, well,
Not a lot of them.
no, but there's a few of them. I know a few myself, but, they're not gonna pay Windstream to change it, so I don't know how that comes about, but,
They've been able to reconcile everything they've come across so far, but it's just been
Yeah.
a tedious process and seemed to me like that they should have provided a less obsolete list, but they're making progress.
Well, it's like I said in my report, our master street address guide is correct. The ones that we've constructed is correct.
well, the address will be right, it's just the name of the person there is no longer.
We've never been privileged to that information.
Oh.
Who actually live in the address or what their telephone is. Something Windstream can tell those guys. And when they sent us their list, the list had to be 25 years old because it's like I said in my report, I've done all the addressing for 25 years.
Well, even the name on this particular one I know of, it's listed as a guy, and he's been dead 10 years, but the family still lives there. Still in his name, they pay the bill, so until somebody, so whatever.
Well, like I say, we'll have
As long as the address is correct, I guess.
we'll have to cross-reference the postal delivery systems guide with Windstream's guide.
Yeah.
Come up with those few.
Yeah, no problem.
We've got several streets that we need to, I can read these streets off.
Yeah,
You can incorporate them into the record. if you want
Yes.
to do that.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
Did Cotton give you a list of history
Yes, sir.
today?
I do. I have that. We have one new road that's going to be named in Steve's district, and that's going to be Ruth, R-U-T-H Lane, Ruth Lane. We have 7 in Massachusetts Smothers district. One is Morris Lane. Gordon, G-O-R-D-O-N, Gordon Lane. Mary's Lane.
Say Mary?
Mary, M-A-R-Y-S, without an apostrophe. Lane. Hine Street. Hickory Street. Ash Street.
I named it, tell them I named it.
And then there will be Thomas Park Lane.
You get stopped.
Thomas Park Lane. That'll take care of them all.
Motion to approve the road list.
Second.
Mr. Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Keith.
Good report.